Um, you often use the word emptiness, but also many times you speak about God. Can you say they are one?
Even to say they would make emptiness into another. Let's say that whatever concept we may hold, whatever sensation or feeling or thought arises in that oneness, in what I would call or refer to as emptiness. Whatever perception, whatever ideas must arise in that space of emptiness, including our idea about God, you see.
And if you feel that God is in you and even God is you, God is me, the reaction that may come is that you feel a great power and that you can do so much. You can change the world, or miracles can come, or
Actually, the opposite is true for me. I don't know about others, but when I discovered the God self, God power in me, I realized I couldn't do so many things. I didn't want to do so many things. I had a false idea of my own power to do, to change, to fix. When I met God, so to speak, I didn't feel like I had to do anything. Didn't feel it as a great achiever. I don't feel even as an unachiever. I was just happy and settled, at peace. I was not even thinking about God, I felt like when you're with your mother, you're thinking about your mother. I felt like when I'm with God, I'm not thinking about God. I don't feel, people say, but you're in duality. I'm not even thinking about duality. So I don't know what is my state. I simply am home.
show me God now.
Show you God.
Yes.
All your life you're being shown God, but you don't see. All your life you're being shown God. Even when you're alone, you're being shown God. Look in the mirror, you see God, but you don't know how to recognize God. You see, we can see the mythology of God. You can see the projections, the creations of man about God. But God is in everything, is in this, is everything. This is a manifestation, this is the body of God, this is the body of God also. And the presence within this body is a hint. Also, you can perceive the presence in this because of the presence yourself is. That is of God, you see. Show you God, you're seeing God all the time. Every time you open your eyes, you see God. You close your eyes, you see God. You awake and walk about and go to sleep in God.
My question is, who is God?
Everything depends on you. What is your perspective? And for me, God is everything, including the one that allows or invites this question even to happen. Intelligence, sentience, everything that manifests, and the source of manifestation, all together, all the beings together. You may say, this is God or consciousness, pure consciousness. Can you find a boundary for yourself that you can say something comes from somewhere else other than you?
No, I can't, but I can speak to God, so that's making
Yes.
him or her something else.
Yes, yes, yes. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Depends on your outlook, on the understanding also. Not necessarily something else. There comes a time when it is seen that all this diversity springs out of one unicity. That is the one somehow manifesting as all this apparent diversity. relating to itself as otherness, and then coming to find that all this otherness springs out of one unicity, which is its own self. This understanding can come and will come. It will come. If you don't have an investment in the sense of separateness, then you may find that it springs up in you quite naturally. An intuitive knowing that everything arises from one common source, and that source cannot be placed away from my intuitive sense of what I am. And there is no arrogance in that. It's not, oh, I am the source. But somehow maybe, how can I be other than the source? You see? Maybe like this it will come to you. Perhaps in saying I am this or I am that, there's more room, more possibility for arrogance. If you say, I am God, some people will take offense. How can you say you are God? But if one says, how can anything exist apart from God? Then it's a gentler way into that same truth. And then also, if you don't like the term God makes some people uneasy, you may use the word consciousness. Because if someone, some being, were to come to you and say, look, I'll give you the entire universe in exchange for your consciousness.
I like your sense of humor.
Is it a good deal or not? Perhaps if they could say, in exchange for my body, but I would still be conscious about it. Okay, take this one, I'll find another one.
Anyway, when we go to sleep, consciousness goes.
Yes, yes, yes. What knows this?
The waking self.
Even in the waking state, it's possible to go beyond, to recognize your beyondness even now. For this purpose, I hope this conversation will somehow reveal this. You know you're conscious now. Something is even aware of consciousness. Aware of the coming in, the feel and the energy of sleep coming in. Something watches this. Something watches sometimes consciousness leaving also. Who enjoys sleep? You say in deep sleep there's no consciousness. There's no I, there's no relating consciousness. There's no cognition in that way. The eyeless state. And even now when the I is present or felt, also by what is it felt? What recognizes the changing costumes of I? What sees it? Clearly it is perceivable. So the evidence that there is some power, a deeper power of perception that is capable of perceiving even I is already there. What is this? Different from you?
Just very short question. How do you serve God best?
How do you serve God best? Maybe you can say by just being empty of you. But would you understand what I mean by that? Or I can say, continue just paying attention to all the things that come, and trust that if something is meant to play out or whatever, you will know intuitively. Maybe in the beginning those questions might be there, should I do this or should I do that and so on. But as you continue, please listen, if you continue just to keep observing the sense of presence, not in a visual way. Can you understand that? Just you are. You don't need a physical evidence for that. It's an intuitive knowing. And by paying attention to this and being freed from the psychological identity, this is the best service to God. Because you come into harmony without the need of that word even. To seek God with your full heart, to search for what is to find and to know God is serving God. To keep asking God for what you individually need is serving you. To seek God for the sake of finding God, I feel this is serving the whole world. Everything that's happening at the moment has to happen. And their meanings are innumerable depending upon one's state of mind and being. And there's a sign in all of this that the mind field is not reliable. The personal perspective is a very subjective view of life. It's not stable. There's no permanent person. It's all just traffic, clouds floating. Beingness is more like the immense sky. And our thoughts and ideas and identities are like clouds or rainbows float, everything passing an effect in consciousness. You see, most we are attached to personhood. Then by observing person with detachment, we come to beingness. And beingness is a very superior state, heavenly state actually. But you may also transcend beingness also, presence also. That's not rejecting, just somehow going beyond and so on. Can have very, very linear kind of measurements, It's just subtler and subtler. Beyond measurements. Because God is limitless. Far beyond any kind of name or entityness. He manifests through all of this. God manifests also through mind and person and body. But His essence is beyond all of them. Beyond name and form and time and change and space, all these things. But not beyond as in beyond, way. No, beyond in subtlety. And none can exist independent of, I say Him, but it or, I said earlier, not one atom has autonomy to function independent of its will. If you understand that, then this is very good.